the top priorities for elected officials in 2024, and can they be held accountable for their promises? It's the reason why we're starting a new segment here on KOMO News called 4 for 24. KOMO senior reporter Chris Daniel starts it off, sitting down with Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell.
What are your top 4 priorities for 2024?
My top 4 priorities. I'll start off with the public safety realm, to increase our police officer numbers and to examine the process by which we recruit and retain. Number 2, I would talk about housing and homelessness. We just passed a housing levy and we're trying to build, thousands of affordable units. I'm going to lump climate change and education together. We want to make sure that we're not only saving people through public safety, but we're saving our planet. 4th, we realize, again, income inequality, that we are a very successful city, that everyone is not rising to the same level of success that we want them to see.
It's a results-oriented business. Being in politics, people always want things happen the day before, right?
Well, I need to make something very clear. Our crime rates have gone down.
Harrell says his recent announcement of a hiring freeze and halt on major spending on projects does not apply to police staffing.
But as far as major projects as well, does this edict jeopardize those in any way?
I won't say jeopardize it.
The 2017 to 2023 general fund increases were by 3.7 per year, but the city's spending increased by 5.5%. Is there a city spending problem?
We know we cannot spend as much as we are.
You have expressed your skepticism with the Regional Homeless Authority in terms of meeting measurable outcomes. Nearly $1 billion spent in a decade in Seattle. The problem has only grown. Homelessness spending per capita in Seattle is higher than any other city in the region. Do you still feel the city can fund the Regional Homeless Authority at the same level?
We committed last year to fund it. This year, we're going to do we're going to take a very scrutinizing look at its structure.
That sounds like you're putting people on notice.
I'm putting people on notice that we want their help. We want their buy-in. I've been on record as not being happy with the outcomes. I like getting things done, and I'm known for getting things done. So this year, we'll push the envelope and hopefully get people housed.
In Seattle, Chris Daniels, KOMO News.
Harrell and the new council have not been specific as of yet on what some of those new public safety measures may be other than staffing. He did tell Chris that with a council majority that matches his ideology and a new police guild contract that he expects this year, it will help in the recruitment efforts. Stick with KOMO in the weeks and months ahead for continuing coverage of Mayor Harrell's 4 for 24. Here is another look at his top priorities for the year: public safety, housing and homelessness, climate change, income inequality. As the year progresses, we'll be measuring the success or failure to address these issues. Watch for stories right here on TV and online at KOMOnews.com, where you can see the full interview between Chris and Mayor Harrell.
Yeah, it is scathing. They are very, very angry. They say he brought disgrace to the Seattle Police Department on a global scale, and in the process, they say he undermined his colleagues.
She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
A year after Officer Daniel Auderer made those shocking off-the-cuff remarks, the fallout continues. In this newly obtained memo from SPD, Auderer's chain of command expressed outrage, saying in part, your insensitivity tarnished some observers' perceptions of all SPD officers. Your conduct put every one of them at risk.
Yeah, just write a check. Just... Yeah, $11,000.
In interviews with his bosses, Auderer passed off his comments as gallows humor, meant to make light of a serious subject. Yet in this memo, his superiors are not amused. That does not excuse the callousness they wrote, nor does it explain your full-bellied laughter. The person whose death caused you such apparent glee is mourned by many. The memo also mentions Auderer's troubled history, including the fact that Auderer received a 4-day suspension back in 2017. It's also noted that this is the 3rd time he's faced an allegation of being unprofessional. For that reason, Auderer's chain of command wrote that serious discipline up to and including termination is warranted.
Now, last week, the Office of Police Accountability confirmed that Auderer's actions did go against SPD's policies on professionalism and bias-based policing. It did not say what his punishment would be. Auderer, though, is scheduled to meet with Police Chief Adrian Diaz on March 4th for a disciplinary hearing. In the studio, Ryan Simt, KOMO News.